While we are all in the middle of this pandemic, with physical distancing being more important than normal, as we are in the middle of it, Georgia has decided that they are going to open the state back up. Let me show you the tweet here from Republican Governor Brian Kemp, who tweeted out, "Due to favorable data and more testing, gyms, fitness centers, bowling alleys, body art studios, barbers, cosmetologists, hair designers, nail care artists, estheticians, their respective schools, and massage therapists can reopen Friday, April 24th with minimum basic operations." He is opening the state back up in the middle of the pandemic. Now, let me show you where Georgia actually sits here. So this data compiled by the Institute for Health Metrics and Evaluation. They're an independent health research center. If you look at their analysis of Georgia here, and you maybe scroll down to where it says containment strategy. I'll link to this below the video, by the way. You can check it out yourself. Containment strategy after June 15th, 2020. June 15th, 2020. Relaxing social distancing may be possible with containment strategies that include testing, contact tracing, isolation, and limiting gathering size. So this is where Georgia sits right now. Like they're not over this. They're in the middle of this. And right now they are deciding to begin opening the state back up. After, by the way, they had a very late, they were very late to the game when it came to their stay-at-home order. Only came April 3rd. A couple weeks after many other states had already had this order in place. So this is happening largely, I think, because of pressure from Donald Trump. So let me show you some reporting here. This is from CNN. Though he insisted he doesn't, quote, give a damn about politics right now, the political pressure can't be ignored. President Donald Trump, whose endorsement helped catapult him over his Republican rival in 2018, pushed states to begin easing restrictions. And Kemp was facing urgent calls from some of his conservative allies and a scheduled, quote, reopen Georgia rally Friday at the state capitol to start rolling back the limits. But it's important to remember that Kemp was always torn over these restrictions. He was among the last state governors to impose a statewide shelter in place, instead letting cities and counties institute a patchwork of policies that had some areas under strict curfews and others next door without many. He reopened Georgia's beaches earlier this month and refused calls from North Georgia Republicans to seal off state parks. He struggled visibly over whether to ban in-person religious services in the run-up to Easter, and his top aide took to Facebook to vent about government overreach as Kemp wrestled with the idea of taking stricter measures. So this is what's actually happening. Kemp is under pressure from Trump and other conservatives, these groups protesting to open the country back up, to open his state back up. And this pressure, at least the pressure when it comes from the public, when it comes from conservative voters, that pressure exists because those people aren't being taken care of. So they are mistakenly thinking that, for us to be able to afford to live again, for us to be able to buy food, pay for rent, pay our bills, we should open the state back up so I can get back to work. That's the advice they're getting from many people on Fox News. When the opposite is true. What should be happening is the government should be taking care of them right now. At the very least, there should be a universal basic income of $2,000 a month. This is already backed by politicians like AOC, like Bernie Sanders, like Ilhan Omar, that are calling for this $2,000 a month. But because people aren't being taken care of, conservative voters that don't know any better, because they watch media that misinforms them, are thinking, well, we got to get back to work. It's the only way out of this. When in reality, they need to stay home and be taken care of. This is also the governor that did not know how contagious the coronavirus was. So I did a story on this on April 2nd. He made these comments on April 1st. He had just learned that the coronavirus could be spread even if you are asymptomatic. Watch this.
I think it's the reason I'm taking this action. Just like I've continued to tell people, I'm following the data, I'm following the advice of Dr. Toomey. Her and I both mentioned in our remarks, finding out that this virus is now transmitting before people see signs. So what we've been telling people from directives from the CDC for weeks now, that if you start feeling bad, stay home. Those individuals could have been infecting people before they ever felt bad. Well, we didn't know that until the last 24 hours.
Okay. So I already covered that before. No point to recover it. But this is the same guy who had no idea how contagious COVID-19 was. And now, even with this information that he now has, much later than everybody else, he still thinks it's perfectly fine to open the state back up when they're in the middle of what's going on right now, and people are able to pass COVID-19 to others without even having any symptoms, not even knowing they have the virus. So if this is all too hard for you to understand, this comic should make it a lot easier. I saw this online. This is from crankyuncle.com. The first piece here. The curve is flattening. We can stop social distancing. And then the next frame. The parachute has slowed my fall. I can take it off now. This is really the simplest way to describe how physical distancing works. So, yes, it's working. Physical distancing right now is helping. Less people are getting the virus. There were projections beforehand. I mean, I'm talking strictly right now of Canada, just my perspective. Canada and Ontario, we were expected to receive a lot more cases than we have right now. And it's because the measures that were put in place, the stay-at-home orders, the shutting down non-essential businesses, encouraging people to stay home. Most Canadians right now are being taken care of with a $2,000 a month check. It's not a UBI, but it largely covers most people. Students are still, for the most part, left out, but most people are covered by that $2,000 a month. And it's enabling people to stay home and not freak out about, oh my God, I can't buy food, because for the most part, Canadians are being taken care of. But in the US, where you're not being taken care of, if you don't know any better, if you're not listening to the facts, if you aren't listening to the scientists, then you may think, I have to get back to work. I mean, I got to get back to work. I need to make money. Well, if your government was actually taking care of you, you wouldn't need to worry about that. You can't stop these measures now. You have to stay home as much as possible. You have to physically distance from other people. And I know it's tough. I know this is not a fun time. But if you want to be able to get over this, you have to take these extreme measures now. And then the sooner we take those measures and keep those measures in place, the sooner we get out of this. But if you do what Georgia's doing right now, what's going to end up happening is there's going to be a new wave of cases that come out. And it's going to prolong this entire thing. At this point, I don't understand. I mean, it's so crazy to me how you can be somebody running a state and running a country, and you have no idea how dangerous these actions are. You have to listen to the science. And this is also just dumb politically. Like, it's one thing to say, oh, Brian Kemp, he doesn't care about the people in the state, whatever. But he's going to want these people to come out for him next time to vote for him so he keeps his job. So this isn't just him being, selfish or corrupt. No, this is Brian Kemp being a total idiot. He's screwing himself here when it comes to the next election. So these are moments you have to keep in mind. When it comes to your political leaders making moves like this, putting your life in danger, these moves will absolutely lead to more people getting COVID-19 and likely more people passing because of it. So you have to remember these moments when it comes to the next time you're going to vote. You cannot have a leader like this.